welcome to Gunners Are Us, where we are positively Arsenal.
And that we are. And today we have a guest. We have the guest of guests. We have the Man United guest himself. We have Bruno.
And welcome to Positively United.
And this was interesting because the way I wanted to start this episode was because we did this a year ago. And I want to gauge at the start of this podcast, are you positively Arsenal? Are you Arsenal? Are you positively Man United? Or are you negatively Man United?
We're negatively Man United.
Well, this is the thing is, at the end of this episode, I'm interested to run this by you again.
Okay.
Because if we talk through our emotions, my theory is there could be light at the end of this. It's like therapy.
This is therapy. It's football therapy.
And obviously we got Scott, we got Joe, we got Bruno here in the house. We've even got a little guest here. We got Luke. The dog is inches away from the microphone. The reason this sounds slightly different potentially for you is a red hot day. We don't want to be in the studio, so we are kind of out and about and free balling it.
Yeah.
But the Man United game is in a matter of a few hours against Arsenal. For whatever reason, this game has created something that...
It feels way much bigger than it is, but I have a feeling that's mainly 99% Arsenal.
Obviously,
it's definitely nothing to do with Man United.
Well, this is it. We got like the title race is involved.
I'm just glad we're in the title race. We're just deciding the title race.
Well, this is it. Man United are going to decide the title race this year, as are our enemies, Tottenham. Yeah. So it's interesting that the two title rivals are facing the opposite person's derby.
Yeah, it's really weird.
The last week of the Premier League.
How weird would it be if United beat Arsenal and Tottenham beat City?
Yeah, and then it's
just like kind of like.
And then the last day we lose as well. Liverpool win out, they win it.
Oh mate,
Liverpool win the league.
It's scripted.
Yeah. I think actually with City winning yesterday, Liverpool officially can't win.
Done,
so it's a massive week, but I think the bit I want to get into, we talked about it a little bit this morning, was the Ten Hag of it all.
Yeah,
he's created this rivalry between 8th place Man United and 2nd place Arsenal.
I'm not too mad at it.
No, I don't mind it because obviously, if I'm a United fan, I want that because obviously a lot of us we grew up in the Arsenal Man United.
When we grew up, it was Arsenal was our rival.
Yeah, that was the big thing, and I don't mind a little bit of like spice being added to it, but it's kind of been really interesting because it all goes back to Old Trafford last year. We could talk about Arsenal's record. It's one win in 16.
Isn't it?
1 win in 16 at Old Trafford. Even last year, how good we were. Yeah. And we were particularly good at the start of the season. Yeah. We went 6 months without losing in the Premier League. The only game we lost was Old Trafford. Yeah. And in that game, if you remember, there was the Martinelli decision, which is the foul on Odegaard fouled in the process. Yeah. This started this weird little subplot in the Premier League between Arsenal and Man United, which went to pre-season in New York City, where obviously the Butcher came looking for Saka. Yeah. Mainu goes off injured badly in that game.
Yeah, I can't remember who tackled Mainu, but I feel like if the Mainu thing came first, like, I'm going to need to go back and check my facts, but I feel like the Butcher was...
If I remember correctly, the Mainu one is more of a circumstance of football, but the Martinez one was mad. Yeah. But the karma's come in the sense of he just hasn't been able to play football.
Yeah, the karma is you gave us your physio. And
yeah. So, there's another subplot. Yeah. Is Gary O'Driscoll left Arsenal for Man United. His last thing he did for Arsenal was he said he'd see through the transfers, the medicals, things like that. The last medical he did was during Timber. Yeah. A week later, he tore his ACL. And then he went to Man United and decided to injure. And again, a doctor has no say in anyone getting hurt. Yeah. But for whatever reason, it's odd that Arsenal have had a year, 10, 15 years now of just every year we're destroyed by injuries. Yeah. Right now, we have a fully fit squad.
What do you reckon it is? Do you reckon it's that he's just rushing them back too much or putting it under too much like intense load?
Yeah, not diagnosing it maybe?
Or not diagnosing, like, it's odd for someone to have such a bad record, which I bet doesn't go against him. Like, so I think he's just like overseeing whether it's like the physical.
Maybe he just bows down to the whole like playing pressure thing. Like, you know how teams rush players back. Maybe he is just someone that bows to it a little bit.
Well, when you think of the Prime doc, the doctor has a lot to say because obviously we saw him in the Arsenal Prime, but even the doctor, I don't remember his name, it's in the Spurs doc. Yeah. The managers actively go see the doctor daily to say, when can I have him? Yeah. And there is the talk of, like you said, the pressure of, can we not? Surely he could have played. If you think he's available for Monday, surely we could push him to Saturday. And you see the doctors going, absolutely not, or they're going, maybe if we can get some ice baths and this, blah, blah, blah. Right. But if I remember the Arsenal one, he was like so strict on absolutely not.
Yeah.
But that's the other side of the coin. Is he maybe too strict? Maybe these injuries aren't as bad as... Do you know what I mean? Like maybe he's saying, no, absolutely don't play because I don't want a further injury. Like they've got knocks, but he believes they're worse.
But I haven't... For Martinez in particular, to then...
He seems like bad injuries.
He had a setback in the summer, and this was pre that guy, so I don't mind so much. He had a setback from that really bad ankle injury that he had. And then coming into it, I think he just wasn't 100%. Yeah. And then he came back. I think you would think that he rushed it too early and then picked up a knock on it again. And then came back and then picked up a knock and hopefully... But he's such a pivotal part.
He is,
of our team that we've missed him this year.
Yeah, and I think there's a knock-on effect with players like that who are instrumental in your team.
Yeah.
And you can't really explain it to outside forces because, for example, we look back to the title race last year. We lost Saliba, we lost Partey, we lost Zinchenko. And outside people are like, it's only 3 injuries, but they're the only reason we play any good football.
Yeah.
And everyone else looks better for it.
Well, they literally asked Jesus, didn't they, in an interview, would you have won the league if Saliba had been fit? And
he said yes. Yeah, straight away. And now, this year, we're seeing the way we're challenging. And they were like, oh yeah, maybe a fully fit Saliba would have helped. Because, I mean, we were running Kivior and Holding as our centre-backs at this point last year. And it's mad that even we were in the title race. But it's hard to explain that to outside forces, like I said, because Martinez playing makes Casemiro a much better player.
Yeah. Do you know what something else about Casemiro that I hadn't really thought about as much, but selling Fred and not replacing him really has put the spotlight more on Casemiro.
Yeah, there's a role in football. You know, some would call it a left eight. It's hard to say, but I remember I did a tryout. This is not to sound fun, put myself over. I did a tryout for Bournemouth. And everyone had to have a position. I didn't talk up. I ended up in the role that Fred would be in. It's essentially the mid bit between a holding midfielder where you can impress by recoveries, passing, going side to side, things you shouldn't necessarily do, but just show that you've got some kind of awareness. And then the attacking mid who's going to get into the box late and kind of get goals or assists. I was in that mid role that kind of is... It's like a thankless job.
Yeah.
And I think Fred did it really well. Because obviously he's doing so well in other places and at international level. And I think, like you said, I think once you lost him, essentially the only person that plays with him now is McTominay, who's in the box further forward than Højlund.
Or Mainu. And the Mainu-Casemiro partnership hasn't flourished, in my opinion. They're both good as their own. Obviously, Casemiro's had a dreadful, season-wise.
Yeah.
But the Fred thing, I didn't think Fred was the issue. He wasn't... I don't think he was good enough for Man United.
Yeah.
But the issue was playing Fred and McTominay together of what we class as McFred. That was the catalyst for our midfield just being unbalanced, and it was bad. So in a way, I either want McTominay to change position or leave, because I would have actually rather Fred, because he's got a good engine and a good work rate that actually does the midfield part.
Yeah, every person has to play their exact part of that position, and we're looking at levels where, if someone doesn't track a certain runner. Like, for example, Martinelli didn't track a runner this year in the Champions League. We lost a goal against Bayern Munich. That's cost us the Champions League. One moment switching off, which shows you that if someone's not doing the exact job that's needed in a position, think how catastrophic that is. If watching one guy for 1 minute goes wrong. Think how wrong it is when over a season you've got the wrong partnerships. And, Casemiro is fine. He looked really good first season. Yeah. This season, he's just not. But again, like you said, you haven't replaced that player. Mainu's a really good player, but I think Mainu is Casemiro.
Yeah.
He's not the player that's going to connect him to Bruno Fernandes.
But I think Mainu will be a 6.
Yeah, that's right. I think he'll replace
an 8. Sorry, an 8,
Yeah, because he's got the engine. That's what's really good about Mainu. But what's interesting about Man United, and I really want to get into this, is there's a pattern to their play, which the only way to describe their formation is we've got 6 people in the line at the back. We have 4 people in the line at the front. And then one of the 6 at the back, which is Mainu, has to cover the 60 yards of room in the middle of the pitch between the forwards and the defenders. And he gets caught just doing laps in it. Essentially, 4 marks or Saturday level, they say doing doggies. He's just doing laps. He's got his tongue out and he's just running around in circles.
It's almost like trying to play 6-a-side football on 11-a-side pitch.
Yeah, and it's that is what I personally have issue because I listened to the Gary Neville podcast with Ten Hag last week.
Yeah.
And there's certain parts where he sounds like Joe after we lose.
Yeah.
And there's parts of him where I'm like, I think he isn't getting a fair shake. And then there's another part of me is going, but Man United is a real poison chalice of a club to take over.
Yeah.
There's a few of them. Liverpool is a typical one.
Yeah.
Man United's one. I think Arsenal's a poison chalice since Wenger. And luckily, we stuck with someone long enough. And I think that's what Ten Hag's kind of openly saying, like, stick with me long enough.
Yeah.
And maybe this isn't a poison chalice. But I don't know. Man United is the biggest club in the world. So it's hard to...
It's definitely a player issue over a manager issue.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
Mourinho said, since he's been there, when he was there, he said there was 15 players that were ruining the whole setup. And he said those 15 players are still there.
Yeah.
So it's clearly a player problem.
Yeah, and is it Ralph Ragnick came in, he said the same thing. He said,
Open
I can
heart.
change this club.
Open heart.
Yeah, he said, I can change this club. They will not let me change this club. And I think that kind of backs up the issue of, obviously, we talked about a lot in the early podcast of... at that time, I think Gary Neville had talked about the leaking of the roof. You know, that meme.
Yeah.
But I think what he was getting at there is 100% right.
It's the premise behind it.
Yeah, it's the premise of, like what Ralph Ragnick said. I can change this club, give me the reins, and I'll do it. They're going, no. Here's Anthony. Here's a 100 million player. You can win the league now. You got a winger. It doesn't work like that, you know. And
Anthony was not first choice for Ten Hag.
No, but he played with him, didn't he? So...
He did. He was a Ten Hag player and a Ten Hag signing for sure, but he wasn't our number one. Or he was meant to be at the start of the transfer window where he should have been about 40, like half the price of what he was, and then it might not have been such a bad risk.
Yeah, well, yeah, because 40 million is a lot different to 100 million. You think and how much that is changing? Because I think back to Pepe, we spent 74 million on him, and I mean,
he's a much better player than that.
Yeah, like he was getting like 19 goals and assists in all comps and stuff.
Yeah,
and those numbers now for like a Mudryk or
why
a Anthony.
Did Pepe get such bad?
I don't know. I think the price tag at Arsenal, because he's our most expensive player till Declan Rice. I think they expected more. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it.
Was he the next coming of Henry or anything?
No.
I don't think he was.
But again, if he was 30 million, I think people would have said he was a steal.
And also, there might have been issues because Arteta's very much into player profiles, things like that. He didn't fit the mould, which is what United aren't allowing Ten Hag to do. There's players there that aren't the right. Yeah, they're not the right fit, but they're not allowing him the freedom to move.
Once it starts like it never really fixed itself because again, Pepe came into Arsenal when Unai Emery asked for a left-sided winger, a left-footed left winger, and he got a left-footed right winger.
Yeah.
And they wanted Zaha. They wouldn't pay the money. They paid over the price for Pepe. He was dead and buried already before it started. Again, Anthony, not first choice. And it papers over the cracks because at Man United, we can all see that they need, a better structured midfield that are more, entwined.
There's a few things over the past 5-6 years that you can say that Man United don't have. And that is a balanced midfield. Even with Bruno being as good as he is, he gets away with a lot of stuff for his work rate and sort of his ethic. Obviously, he has the stuff which winds other people up and winds United fans up from time to time. But he still has that work rate and ethic that he will do everything. But he goes for the Hollywood ball too much. But him being in there, he adds to the problem that our midfield is not balanced. And as soon as you lose the midfield battle in any game, any team can absolutely destroy you.
Yeah.
And we found out, obviously, Monday night against Crystal Palace, we didn't have even Bruno in that midfield. And look what happened. Like, we got
in that game,
off the park.
I've never... I betted on that game and I made money on that game, bet responsibly. We said it on the podcast this week. I've never looked at a game on paper and gone, that's a 4-0 win to Palace.
Yeah.
And weirdly, Man United have been over-egging it a little bit. Like, they're the games they've been winning weirdly.
Yeah.
But they'll go home to Burnley and lose. But they'll go away to like Palace or Wolves and you go, oh, they're going to struggle on a Monday night and then they just win. And you go, I don't get it. But yeah, I think all the chickens came home to roost on that day. On this day, I see clearly. The Casemiro got dribble passed in that game in centre-back 8 times, which is more than Saliba over 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Which is one of the craziest stats.
It's more than Van Dijk in his whole career, isn't it?
Apparently. The only reason Van Dijk doesn't get dribble passed is because he walks backwards with his legs open. He ends up in the goal and then looks at the goalie like, you should have said that. Didn't get past me though, did he? But he's behind the goalie.
I think Man United really missed the boat though with a couple signings they could have had when they were available. And it was Kane and Rice.
We spoke about this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Rice, I think we did miss the boat. We should have been more aggressive with that. I have a feeling that Rice actually probably had set on Arsenal.
I think he was.
I think
yeah.
if he had the choice of 100 mil, probably maybe double or half as much more wages at United, I think he'd probably still pick Arsenal for the whole thing. Kane, we were never getting Kane. Like, Levy was never selling Kane to a Premier League club. No. Even unless he would have probably been 150 to 200 mil if he wanted England, to do that. And then, so there's no point in...
Well, it's like Højlund, because we spoke about... Because again... it's so hard because there's so much to talk about that we have to kind of try and stay in the parameters, because this podcast started with me explaining the rivalry that's randomly created over Man United. We didn't even get to the offside goal with Garnacho. We've ended up all the way down to Casemiro. Yeah. And that's why I kind of want to just, like, if we could put these into files and kind of one by one go through. Yeah. Getting back to this kind of rivalry between Arsenal and Man United, this kind of, it's a long-stemming one, but this year's kind of really heaped in, is... we have the Garnacho goal. Well, I say ghost goal, but the call
that it was onside.
Yeah. I'll say this: I have no clue if it's onside or offside, but I don't know how many other goals.
So get over it.
Yeah. Well, to an extent. Yeah.
I feel like that's the most. I think that's the most thing I've ever caught, like, held on to.
Yeah.
And Ten Hag as well.
Yeah, Ten Hag can't get over it, and if you're asking me if that was against Arsenal, I wouldn't care less, because I don't think the lines are correct.
No. Yeah.
But they're the same all the time. So to me, I'm like, they're doing the same math. Yeah, it's like goal line technology. If I go, that looks in, and then they show me the thing, and it's like...
I feel like the goal line technology, I believe 100%, because it's all computer automated. So I'm okay with that. The offside thing is purely human putting a line on the thing. Like that, the one Coventry offside against United in the semi-final of the FA Cup. Hey... That was onside.
It's weird though, because the way they paused it, it's offside, but the video from the crowd, you see, he looks mad on. But that also could be angles and stuff. That's what
I say about the angle that they use. Like, there are different angles. That, like, sometimes they do use different angles.
Yeah, because I've talked about the City goal last year against Arsenal. Every City player knew that he was off by about 2 yards. They changed it. Remember the Tottenham game against Arsenal the other week? We all saw Romero was off. Yeah. I think it was Romero or someone, Van de Ven. Yeah. And then they changed the angle to the other side of the camera. And we were like, well, we never used this camera. And all of a sudden he looked mad on. He ended up being off, but it was very marginal, but it looked a yard. So it shows you that depending on the camera
angles, in every stadium, not every offside camera is in the exact same proximity to certain things, because we already know.
So therefore, the math can't be exact.
What was like one of the stadiums back in the day where the camera was really low, or the
Highbury used to be low, and Bolton was on the top. Yeah.
So you get different aspects.
The only reason I think with the Man United one I'm not that bothered about is, for example, Arsenal v Brentford in the title run last year, they missed a whole player. Yeah. And they apologised, and that one's unforgivable because you're like, it's like the Spurs and Tottenham, Liverpool. But we've had some marginals against us, but marginals for us, like the Man United one.
We've had a lot of thinking. Yeah, it's not like I'm holding on to that like we should have won or whatever.
It's more a meme of itself.
It was just such a good moment, and then you bang 2 goals in afterwards.
It was such a good moment for you, and it's such a good moment for us.
It was just humiliating. So it was so annoying.
That's what I mean. Like with the offsides at this point, I'm kind of like, I'm glad the sensors are coming in, but as far as the technology they're using currently for it, I don't really complain for or against us, because I'm like, it's the same budget technology they're using.
Ish.
I'm happy to go with it, unless they glaringly a human just misses someone or they get something really wrong.
But the Champions League semi with Madrid and Bayern, like the ref putting up the line and the ref, you're still in the case of it's down, Yeah,
because that one, like the minute everyone's saying, "Oh, they robbed him of a goal," I don't think it goes in if the players carried on playing.
I don't know. It was a good strike though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the whistle went before the header. Rudiger stops, the goalie stops, and I was like, but again, that shouldn't have happened.
What shouldn't? Yeah.
Because what we've watched, how many people run on for 3 minutes and then he puts his flag up,
and they're properly like 10 yards offside.
Yeah. Nearly. And you're like, oh, someone could have got hurt there. And they're like, we were told to have to. Why did they not wait?
Yeah.
So again, human error really annoys me. The level of the red card at the minute has skyrocketed. No one can get a red card. I don't know what's going on. Whereas for a bit there, they were sending everyone off. And the thing with that is I don't like it because it gives it uneven. I'm not saying it's pro Arsenal or against Arsenal or any team, but you're not having a fair reflection of the league, because if you get a load of people sent off in a spell, that loses all your momentum. Your manager gets sacked. Then you never recover. You can end up getting relegated if you're like a Bournemouth or someone who could be in that role. And I don't think you can be changing rules mid-season.
No.
But no, as far as the offside, that's obviously linked. Ten Hag brings it up a lot. He brought it up again this week.
Did he?
Yeah. And he said that is a big momentum switch in our whole season. And I was like, it was like 3 games in, I think. But I don't think it would have changed much. again, it could have.
It could have.
We don't know.
Could have. I think the injuries are more than anything.
It's a tough one as well with that goal, because the way I kind of look when I see it in real time, I think it just looks offside.
Yeah,
but
it's
only once they stopped it, I was like, oh god, it's on. It might be on, and then they got lines out. I was like, oh, it's off, and then I was like, I don't know.
It's only it's Gabriel's movement, because Gabriel spots it and jumps on.
Yeah. It's fantastic defending, to be honest.
Yeah. But with a sensor, it'd be really interesting to know if but we'll never know for that exact instant. No. But I'm glad the sensors are coming in. But that's added something, because even Ten Hag's recently brought Højlund got pulled down in that game, which was not. Yeah, it was. Not
I don't know, but with this, I 100% agree. But with this kind of stuff that we've given away for a penalty recently, and what other people have got, that technically is a penalty.
Well, my issue is I've said it on the podcast every week. Man City versus Man United. I think it was Højlund touched. He literally put two fingers on his shoulder and it was a pen.
It's so.
And then for example, I watched a game yesterday. It was Chelsea Forest, and I think it was someone was trying to get to the keeper, and a Chelsea player was stopping it. A Forest player was stopping him. He just threw him to the ground, like picked him up by the shoulders, like a suplex to the ground. And the ref would get up. It was like,
can the refs hear something like like what's going on between them?
I don't know. Like, you were in the wrong.
Yeah, it's weird.
You know, you people talk about Arsenal on the goalie. Ben White touches goalies. Then that's the name of the episode. But the minute the ball gets struck, he runs away from it.
Yeah.
I've also seen us give away goals where the guy's holding our goalie and then it goes in. We're like, okay, cool.
In the garden when the throw, like when we're doing the throw, I'm pinching. I'm doing whatever. I'm getting on you.
And again, we've seen also instincts like we had a goal disallowed where Ben White grabbed the goalie's arm way before the goal goes in.
Yeah.
But they went back to it and I was like, okay, he does grab his arm. It could impede him. But then you watch a game like that and the guy suplex a guy next to the goal and they're going, it's off the ball and you've got to sort that out for yourselves. Like, but Ben White's just touching the goalie. Is the goalie more important than the player?
It's human error again.
This is what I'm saying is, but the only thing I say is these bad decisions or good decisions, whatever they are, has definitely added to the rivalry of Man United and Arsenal over this year.
Technically, it's more of a faux rivalry.
Yeah.
I think it's a rivalry because of the history, but it's false because it's not really based on like
position.
two even teams going against each other. I don't mind it. I like a little bit of like added spice, and I'm glad that the Arsenal Man U rivalry is back on.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'd say he's done is he's not been. It seems like he might have a hard on just for Arsenal at the minute, but I like the fact he's added a bit of something. He has a little bit of bite. Like when he does interviews, like with Gary Neville, he came across very good because he was kind of saying, well, take away two people's centre backs. Then give them the third choice left back and let them run for 6 months. See if they can get any momentum. And I agree with that massively, but I also really disagree with it because I'm like, you're one of the richest teams in the world. I was like, you've got a massive squad, billions of, your third choice is better than Bournemouth's, but I mean, they're putting on a better performance.
I don't know, we're playing Wan-Bissaka at left back. Boy doesn't play right back as much. Like, it's,
but the thing is, Wan-Bissaka's a rated, he's a rated, but I agree with it because that's what I said last year in the title run-in, for example, when I was like, Kiwior and Holding, we're trying to expect them to win us a league.
Yeah.
And then people are going, oh, you got to get on with it. It's a title run-in. But then, a team like Man United are in 8th and they're complaining about not having it. And I'm going, well, all the energy was like anti-Arsenal. So it's almost like it's hardened us as Arsenal fans to go, I won't put up with it. Like, like, for example, if we lose to Man United today, I won't be like disappointed because we lost. I'll be like, we don't deserve the title.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's almost like if we can't beat this United team, and I know
that is a true point. Like,
we don't deserve the title.
No matter whatever outside forces happen today, based on team and form of what we're doing,
should be
there is no way that Arsenal should come into this game and not batter us. I think because if you don't batter us and you allow us to play, that's you coming in with a weird sort of mentality type thing.
But like I said to Scott earlier, I feel weird about...
Too cocky, sorry?
No, I was going to say, I feel weird about the idea of, like... Mainly because you're here, put it in my head, but over-celebrating. But again, I don't want to over-celebrate because we should be scoring. Like, the way we're playing and the way we're set up and the way you guys are set up at the minute, I should expect a goal or two. Like, there should be goals.
If you... I would put... If you come in with the right mentality and like think that you're going against like City or something or Tottenham or whatever with the juice in your head, there is no way that Odegaard doesn't get 5 assists from cutting the ball back across.
Because that's your big issue, isn't it? Well, your big issue is the giant hole in the middle. The other one is pulling back.
With Donut RC,
Yeah, it's mad. I was explaining. I was like Jamie Carragher with the teleprompter watching it with my dad this week. I brought this on the podcast. But I mean, I was like, pause it. What's this? And it was literally like, honestly, 40 yards of room where there was nearly every single Palace player was in that room. There was no Man United players.
We like to let people just like
do their thing. In the middle of the park.
But the thing is, like you said, there's the side of me that's saying if we don't beat them today, we don't deserve the title anyway. So it makes it almost like I can accept it and be like, Man City are the better team. At the minute, I feel like Arsenal are the better teams. They're just a soulless robot. But if we don't win today, I'm like, they saw it out. They were the better team. Cool, I can live with that. Obviously, if there's like a suspect, awful decision, then
there could be an awful decision, or what if we come like guns blazing? We like there's a Martinez type challenge or something like.
But if you do, I can accept that as well, because it's like you got to accept that some teams are going to be up for it. It's like when you watch City, the argument that people have is it feels corrupt because like Fulham yesterday, they made 5 or 6 mistakes at the back. When we played them, they were bloody generational. But the thing is, as much as that is annoying, they create that. Yeah. They create that fear because of their hard work. Like we were talking about you on our other podcast, Pepcon, working hard, working smart and stuff. And I said, I'll never diss you for, because your job might be somewhat easier physically because you worked your way to get to that point.
Yeah.
City have created this monster with 115 charges. But what they've done is they create that fear in the way in which you play against them, which means you make more mistakes. And, Arsenal are starting to get more benefits of that. You have to work towards it and you have to keep that momentum and all these things. So if Man United do come out all gun blazing and we weather the storm and then start playing our football and we win, that's what a champion would do. What a champion wouldn't do is turn up going, we've only won once in 16, we're going to sit back, let Man United get excited, let the crowd go up. Ten Hag's already wound everyone up with the decisions and all these things. It becomes emotional and we lose. Yeah. And that I can accept.
Arteta needs to out-coach or out-tactic manage mindset.
Yeah.
Ten Hag.
Because the way, like you said, the way in which that we're both playing, if we go in how we did against West Ham away, or I wouldn't say Sheffield United away, but West Ham away, Brentford away, all these teams where we dominated the ball and we created lots of XG, a lot of goals in West Ham's case, we will win this game. If we come out and go, we're worried about a storm that might be coming, we don't worry about a West Ham storm. We only play that way when we're against Man City, these times, like you said.
Yeah.
If we come out like that, I think that instantly says there's something in their head that they can't win here. And that is also fine because it just means they're not ready to win the title. Because Man City don't go anywhere and expect to lose.
True.
For example, they have one bad juju. It's the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So they've got to also go through that this week. Yeah. And I guess, bet you any money, they will not come out with any fear.
No.
And that is the difference between
They won't even know about the juju.
Yeah, and we don't know that Arsenal will come out.
We don't. We'll find out.
We will find out. And that's the beauty of football at the end of the day, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Any given Sunday, that's the point of sport. It's the point of a lot of these things. So we talked about that little bit of rivalry that's kind of been escalated via Ten Hag, essentially, and also through. It's almost like an online rivalry.
I think it is. I think it might be people clutching at something, but I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, but it's definitely added a little
spice.
Yeah, a little je ne sais quoi to the game.
I like that.
And it's tough to do it between a second place team or joint first team
and
an eighth team. Right?
Yeah, I like it. I like it when there's a bit of consequences to a game.
You like our new Stoke?
That
was a joke.
Can you do it at Old Trafford on a Sunday afternoon in the
imagine
sun?
if it becomes like that.
Yeah.
Joselu can. Well, he couldn't, but he can do it in the semi-final.
He'll figure it out.
So, we talked about that little bit of rivalry. There's a few things that we kind of mentioned in the podcast at the start of the year. One of them was to do with the ownership.
Yes.
At that point, there was rumours of Qatar and there was rumours of Jim Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
At that point, you were pro-Qatar.
I was heavily pro-Qatar.
To kind of get everyone out, full ownership, and somewhere where they'll almost allow someone else, like a football director, to run it day to day, because they're not going to get involved. No. But here's the money, the debt's gone, that kind of stuff. You've ended up with Jim Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
The early indications for Ratcliffe, what are they? Is there anything you can shed any light on of what he started to implement? Is there anything?
From my point of view, he's had a great start to his tenure at United. I'm not going to say that I'm 100% happy because he still kept the Glazers in, but if he had to do it this way and potentially, as long as he sticks to his word, I won't mind. I don't want to go through the 5-year grind. I wanted the cheat code. Yes, that's me being greedy, but maybe having the 5-year grind to get the Glazers out of the club and to get it back, it might make the fortunes in the future that much more sweeter.
It's worth it in the long run, because you saw what happened with teams like Liverpool, Arsenal, the ones that are in that build over like a 5-year period. I think it sucks at the start.
Yeah.
But it's always worth it in the long run.
Yeah. And the thing is, like the Kroenkes, we thought the Kroenkes, obviously they're notoriously great franchise owners, but we weren't seeing it, and there was a Kroenke out situation. What they needed was an Edu to come in and basically like, this is how we need to do it, and we need to trust this manager.
Yeah.
Then they brought the manager in there with Edu.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's not getting rid of the owners. The Glazers might be awful, but it might be because they have no clue what they're doing.
They had no clue what they're doing, and they hired people or gave people positions that had no credibility in that situation, that made fundamental, like pivotal decisions for the club that were just terrible. With Radcliffe coming in, who he's brought in and who we've been able to get things from has been incredible. Like the Man City person that's coming in, like the structure that he's actually set is a structure that we haven't had in decades.
Yeah,
probably since Ferguson, when Ferguson and Gill left.
Yeah.
But when the only annoying one is the Ashworth one, not being able to sort that out between Newcastle. At the end of the day, when do you soak up your pride and just give them 10, 15 mil of what they need? He's just sat on the fence for 18 months. It's not benefiting Newcastle, and it's not benefiting...
Or him, probably.
It's not benefiting United.
Well, maybe financially.
And it's not benefiting him. Well, he's getting gardening leave, isn't he? But I understand why Newcastle being... awkward, and I would, but at the end of the day, like, we've wasted a lot of money on a lot of things. Let's just get him in.
Yeah, why not do this one?
Because I need, like, I feel like that's a pivotal part going into this summer.
Well, it's the new
of
foundation.
What the rebuild is.
Yeah.
So just suck up the pain, whatever, and get it in. That's the only thing that I'm weird about why he hasn't done it. Everything else he's done has been pretty to the point, and it looks like the Glazers are out of all footballing decisions, which is good to see.
Yeah. And he's a United fan, isn't he?
He is a United fan, yeah. He tried to buy Chelsea, and there's other stuff out there, but I think he is a boyhood like
United fan. So because that's what's interesting. The only things I've already seen, obviously, I know that he's kind of tried to help that structure, because again, like I said, Glazers might not need to be out; they might just need to be not involved, and have actual football people put it all in place, and that will take a time, obviously. But the only thing I've seen is the potential of Gareth Southgate being your manager.
Oh my god! I hope that that would bring it down a lot of pegs.
I'm going to be honest. Yes, because I can't stand Southgate as the England manager because of the defensiveness.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is you'd be tactically better off than you are with Ten Hag.
I don't know. We'll get onto the manager's situation with the Ten Hag. Or do you want to
No. Just a brief one here.
It's also what can Southgate do with that group of players? Are they going to put in the work?
I don't think.
I think it's the players. Yeah, because he had Ajax playing well. Again, Ajax had a lot of great players, a lot of great
willing to do the
youth
work.
Structure and willing to do it. Smaller contracts. That's what I mean by the Man United being a poison chalice. It's not to do with the owners for that. For me, it's the sense that you have 24 players, most of them well over $100,000 a week, and you're going.
I think there's not many people. I think there's like 2 or 3 people that are under.
That's what I mean. Like I would have thought everyone's 100,000 or more, whether they should be or not, and trying to get them to, and again, other clubs are doing it. Like when you look how structured teams like Bayern Munich have been, and Barcelona and Arsenal, Man City, I mean they're robotic, and they're getting paid more than anyone. But it is hard to explain to a group of players, do this and this will happen. The only way that it works is then you have to see results, because I go back to Tottenham when Conte came in. People were raving about it. He's going to have them so structured, all this stuff. He's got them vomiting in training. They're running so much. It was for 6 months, it ran perfectly. Then the results started to go against him. Then the players start to revolt and go, I don't want to vomit, especially when we're losing. And then they lose control. To keep people, like someone like Ferguson, what he did, to keep people that under wraps and that trained and that hard, and you're not allowed to do this. You have to do this. If you do one thing wrong, off you go. No player's bigger. Yeah, and again, we've seen it with Arteta. He's got that kind of people joke football terrorist in him. That he is like, we've seen it. someone will make a mistake that you think, oh, nothing comes of it. And you see Arteta's face change, and that guy doesn't play for 6 weeks.
Yeah, we never see him
He
again.
doesn't trust the guy ever again.
No.
And you do need a bit of that. Because
and you also have to back it up.
There has to be fear. You can get paid 300k a week, but unless you have that fear in you, then...
And I think Man United don't, and that's what I worry about.
Well, Rashford's semi-retired at this point.
But we don't...
But again, none of the managers come in have seemed to have been able to do that.
That's why it's a player issue.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's a mixture of player and a few other things. And I think Ratcliffe has a big thing where he wants it to be quite British run. Like he wants him to be the British owner. He wants British technical directors. He wants a British manager, British backroom staff, British players. Again, we're in a generation now that if you can do that, there's a lot of great ones. Because, if you...
I would prefer Eddie Howe as my British manager, not Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
Gareth Southgate, no.
He wasn't a very good club manager anyway.
Near my club.
Yeah, but there's something, I think he's got the vision I can see, which is Southgate in that bloody waistcoat at Old Trafford, and it's all very... You know how the Man United manager's always got to wear that suit?
Yeah.
And in recent times, it's a suit that looks sad. It looks like Old Trafford just looks dark. When I watch it on TV, the manager's got the thing on, he's wearing a flat cap. It's like you're watching the 60s, and it's just like... And then, because you look at the other teams, you look at De Zerbi, and he looks like someone out of like A1.
Yeah.
And then there's like Arteta's got a turtleneck on, and Pep's got a jacket on. Dyche's got his own tracksuit on.
And it's working.
Yeah. But there's a colourfulness to it. And then you look at Ten Hag, and every manager, it's like you see him at other places, you see him at Ajax. It almost looks cool on the sideline. He comes in, he's got like a flat cap on. He's now 80.
He's got a pipe in his mouth.
The weather. We'll see what he pulls out today in the sun. All right?
But there's something that looks really like... It's like there's a genuine... physical dark cloud in the club.
I think it's the damn pear coming off the swamp that Old Trafford's built.
Yeah. You bring up that swamp.
It is built on a swampland.
What's that?
The bodies found at the camp.
Was there? Oh, of course there was. Yeah, I saw that. That's mad, isn't it?
Swampland, isn't it?
It is swampland.
That's why the pitch is raised up.
Yeah, there's just something to it, and I think he's got this vision of Southgate and all this, and he's got players like Kane in his head. I don't think it will be Kane. But, when you look across, I think he would have been desperate for like a Rice.
Rice and Kane, they would have been the back.
And again, Rice is a world-class player, but Rice also has this other thing to him that is somewhat cringy, but also quite funny, where he's like a serial winner and he'll actively say he is. He looks like he's going to go on Jake Humphrey's podcast. Like, he's one of these guys.
Yeah.
Like, he's not as bad as Jake Humphreys, but there's an element of like when he scored a goal against Chelsea, he said, what made you take that shot from nearly the halfway? He goes, I was watching the Beck's documentary last night, and he thought, if he's got that, he inspired me, but before time. Yeah. And you're just like, he's so and that's why Arteta loves it, because Arteta's all into speeches and stuff. Yeah. But that type of like, I want to take the weight of England on my shoulders. That's what, like, Rice is going to go walk.
I think he probably will be a prime candidate for England captain when Kane steps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, he's got that thing, he puts his chest out. And I think Ratcliffe's got the image of Southgate, and players like Jordan Henderson is a prime example of that type of player.
Yeah, I hasten to think. If Southgate, touch wood, doesn't come in, but if he does, if there is any point, I don't want Southgate in any discussions for any player. I just want him to be a coach, and I want the team, the technical stuff to get the players and go, here you go. I want Gareth Southgate. I don't want his footprint, his stamp on this.
I just think there's an element of you've come 8th pretty much now, most likely. It can't get much worse than that. I think
it's the worst. It's we can't get to the points that Moyes got to.
Yeah,
and Moyes was the worst.
And I always liked Moyes.
I always thought they'd stuck with him.
I think
that's where we're going back to, though. I think everyone saw this. We all saw the thing of Scottish manager, understands the Premier League. He's going to be Ferguson. No one's going to be Ferguson. No, there's no manager that's ever going to be Ferguson. But they could see it, and I think that's kind of what Ratcliffe's got with Southgate, or someone like Southgate, where it's. Harry Maguire, Declan Rice, Harry Kane, do it for England.
I don't want any of that stuff.
It can't be any of those, but, there's certain players that I could see them really targeting. Instead of spending 100 million on Anthony, I think, is it Warburton that plays for Palace? He played against
Elise.
You want Elise, but the young English lad. Warburton. I think he might be 18, 19. He absolutely bossed your whole midfield. And he's got that Declan Rice about him. He wins everything. A bit like Mainu, but he's kind of athletically looks a bit more like Declan Rice.
We need a world class, whatever world class 20 to 25-year-old CDM.
Yeah.
We need to get the next.
They're the hardest thing to find, though.
Yeah.
Because Atletico were, at one point, were hoarding them. Because they had Partey and Rodri at once.
Yeah.
And they allowed them into the Premier League. And look what's happened to the Premier League with those two teams. They were hoarding two of the best ever. Casemiro is the other one. But Casemiro is that little bit older.
He's older, we think he's old, but he's younger than us.
Yeah. But I couldn't run a midfield in the Premier League right now.
It's mental, isn't
it? We were talking about it the other day that, like, you look at... I said something about Arsenal, about Havertz or something. He's a good kid, I think. And then I was like, I can't call him a kid. And I was like, yeah, I can. 12 years old in that guy.
That's mental.
Or something like that. I was just like, that is mad.
He could be my son.
Yeah, he could be Joe's son.
Havertz has been so good this year.
Yeah.
I'm actually really happy for him.
Yeah, I am as well.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted it to do well, just because I know I've read up about him and I like him.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if he was going to be any good. But he's been really good. He's been really... He seems like
at Chelsea.
Yeah, I did as well. But he looks like a winner. Like, and it's the first time I've seen him look happy playing football.
Yeah.
And there's a big thing. This is something that Man United, I think, you can't do this where you're at now. Been a few years. We took a Dubai trip in January, and since then we've won 14, lost 1, drawn 1. But apparently, what happened with that is everyone brought their family and dogs, everything. And since then, if you follow them on socials and stuff, Odegaard, Trossard, Havertz, and their other halves and dogs, they go to Barnes and stuff on their days off.
That's what it's all about. Like, generally, I think every football club does have cliques.
Yeah.
But where that doesn't sound like necessarily a clique.
It's everyone.
It sounds like just a...
Yeah, it's group.
Yeah.
And he purposely wanted everyone there to be like, this is what we all want to do.
Yeah.
We all like each other. We all should like... So all the girlfriends became friends, the family, the parents.
Yeah.
He had everyone there. And obviously, it's probably not the reason we went 14 games winning in a row, basically. But...
It's a good catalyst.
Yeah, and if he'd done that year one with Lacazette and Aubameyang and Pepe and David Luiz, it wouldn't have worked.
No.
But again, Man United that's where they're going. And I think Ratcliffe has that with the British core. And right now, it's the best, people like Eze. There's people like Ollie Watkins about.
Ollie Watkins would be good. Højlund needs...
another person.
Older, probably better forward ahead of him. Because he's still young and he needs to learn.
Yeah, we'll learn a lot about Man United because in the summer they could go sell 6 or 7.
I have no idea what... This summer is pivotal because changing ownership during the season as well isn't the easiest thing either. And how long that got dragged out for is part of that black cloud that is over it as well. But this summer is pivotal. If there is no change on people going out, like, there has to be more people, like, than 2 or 3. We're talking nearly to double digits of players that have to leave.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, then they've not got the right mentality.
That's what I mean. It needs a proper... when we go on FIFA, we all naturally sell 15 players and buy 10. It doesn't work like that. Like, even with Arsenal. When Arteta came in... After a year of him being there, you could name 12 players that need to go and 12 new players need to come in. It's taken until this summer. We're only this summer going to get rid of Cedric, Tavares, El Nani. And again, some of them have been really helpful at times. But we all knew we call Cedric King Deadwood III. But it's the last of it, and it's going to take, for example, this year. This is how quick the top level of football stuff turns around. The reason we challenged last year was because of Zinchenko.
Yeah.
He's going to probably get sold this summer because he is not good enough for that team.
Yeah.
That's how quick, you go.
It is weird. Yeah.
How
and you have to be kind of that ruthless as well. You can't have that sentimentality.
Well, we talk about it for years with people like Bellerin. Bellerin was a very good right back for a period. We just liked Bellerin. I liked Lacazette. Yeah. I liked Aubameyang, but they weren't delivering anything. Right. But I was like, but they're like Arsenal, aren't they? Tierney was a perfect example. When they sent him on loan this year, I was like, I like Tierney. It turns out the Tesco's back. We're so far beyond that point. Yeah. Where at that point we thought we were out of the mire. Now we see what's out of the mire and we're going, oh no, we need to get rid of these guys.
Well, even Ramsdale during the course of this season.
He's my favourite player.
Yeah.
And then now we're like, no, I see why we brought Riot. Yeah. But I couldn't understand it at the start. And again, you have to trust that guy. But the only reason he's got that trust is what he's kind of delivered. And I mean, it was a lot rockier than what Ten Hag's first year, he got 2 finals and won a cup. Yeah. Second year, he's awful, but I mean, he's got another cup final.
Yeah.
Teams around the world, I always say, we're Arsenal fans, you're a United fan. We've experienced a lot of Wembleys and titles and things like that. tell a Wolves fan you can have one FA Cup final in your lifetime. They'll bite your hand off.
Yeah.
So you have to always kind of keep that. And that's why I don't like it when people diminish things like the Carabao Cup or even the Community Shield at times. Because it's like, at least I got to see my team at Wembley. Yeah, it might not mean anything. But guess what? When Saka finishes his career, they'll name all his trophies and the Community Shield's going to be one of them.
I always count it as anything that's in the Merlin sticker book as a trophy.
Yeah.
It counts.
But that's what I mean. At the end of the season, if someone said, you went trophyless, I'd be like, yeah. I'd forget about it.
Yeah.
But it's such a nice feeling when you do get, because you get to see them all stand at the fireworks.
It's good momentum as well. That set us up for the season.
Yeah, and we've talked about it so much is football. We went let's say we win today. City lose at the weekend and we go 3-0 up early against Everton. We've won the league. I'm going to be happy for 60 minutes.
Yeah, it's good.
Then the season's going to end. Then I'm going to carry on my life. What I want is to be happy week to week. For example, that's what I want to get to next. Is for you.
Football, the Premiership is because it's 9 months of the year, nearly 10. You have you can't be waiting
for that 1 second and then you go, this is good. And guess what? One team experiences it. Yeah. That anyway.
Yeah. Well, also we're all NFL fans, so we know full well as NFL fans, one team's having a good season.
Yeah. For example, as a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm not looking forward to the season as much as I was last year because I don't think we're as good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still going to watch. I'm still going to enjoy it because I'm like, even if we get a playoff run, I'll be really chuffed with that this year.
Yeah.
And you can find levels.
Expectations.
Yeah, you can find levels.
And it is just that enjoyment of tuning in on a Sunday evening and watching your team play.
The annoying thing I've always said, I don't mind if Man United lose. I really don't mind that much. I want to see them try for work ethic, and I want to see some sort of fight and style of play that can actually be like, we're giving it a good go today, and we just got
That's what I mean. I think if next year, let's say it was Ten Hag, and you sold a few players that they're overpaid, they shouldn't be there. You brought in a couple of young players, and 50 to 60% of the games you play really well. And you win 50 to 60%, but you end up coming 8th again. But you can see the style of play has been implemented.
Yeah.
A couple more players, you might be there. Man United fans, I think, majority would take that.
We would.
The ownership thinks that they need them to win the league next year. There's no way a team, other than Leicester that 1 year, which is totally random. Yeah. For example, when Arteta took over, the plan was to win the league. He said in 5 years' time. Next year's 5 years. The 5th year he was talking about. We've managed to get there in 3, but I mean, he didn't expect to win it in 3 or 4. He probably didn't in his head think that realistically he might get 5th 5 years. But you have to, it takes time. And I think the minute Man United realise that, because what, like I was about to say, was the summer this year, get rid of 7 or 8, you bring in 3 or 4, you don't need to bring out the same amount. Young, some English, some not, maybe an established forward to help Højlund, maybe this. But what they're going to do is they're going to go, do you know what? Let's just sell one player. Should we bring in Mbappe? They're not.
I don't think we are. I don't think we're that.
That's what I'm interested this summer is Ratcliffe going to go there and go, because he's going to hear these conversations and go, no.
No, I think.
I don't think you could get him because I know Europe and that. But I just think that's what's happened in the past. We need this, and this. Here's Anthony. And you're like, that's not what we needed. And that's what I feel like, man. There's a miscommunication between it all.
Yeah, because that was the Woodward Glazer. Well, not Woodward, because he left a year and a half ago. I forgot the 2 numpties that we had. I'm glad.
But there was no communication.
There was no communication. There was no nothing. They went to Barcelona for weeks to try and get De Jong, and what happened?
De Jong's available this year as well.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
He talked about De Jong this week on that.
He was like, if it was De Jong and Casemiro, then it's a completely different ball game. But if that happened, then we have no Mainu. So
it's tough though, isn't it? Yeah, you wouldn't have Mainu.
Or if it's up to Arsenal, we wouldn't have Mainu either. But
the thing is with that concept, like with Ten Hag, that's what I was saying about that interview, is I found it very... I understood it in sometimes, and I understood it was like, De Jong would have changed the whole season. You're not here. Yeah. And guess what? You might have signed him, he might have got injured in pre-season.
Yeah.
It's like us going, we got Timber, we're going to challenge this year. He gets injured. And you're like, we can't challenge now. It's like, no, you can.
We wanted Timber too.
Yeah. There's just, at the minute, there's a lot of good players and there's a lot of available players.
Yeah.
And it's about getting it right. But I think what Man United do is they see all the good players and try and buy as many as they can, but then get mismatched, kind of...
It's personality, I think we need to... Personality, work ethic, we need to... and character, which I'm huge, going back to NFL, I love the setup that my team, Colts, the Indianapolis Colts have right now, is... Our general manager is very who's the man that we're getting.
Yeah, player profile.
That's a big American thing as well, which is interesting with the American owners and stuff, because I was watching the Pathway System documentaries about Lewis Reece James?
Reece Lewis
Reece James, the Chelsea fullback. Yeah, they're him and all the players that were coming around. And literally every scout, first question was, who are you? How's your family? And they'd be like, oh, I have 2 sisters. Younger? Older? Younger? Okay. How did you find them growing up? They haven't even asked them about NFL. Mm. And they're like, they say afterwards, they said, the reason we're looking good people. Yeah. We're looking for good people first, great athletes second.
Because, say you had some player with a character issue, but he's unreal. Is unbelievably world class.
Mbappe.
Is Mbappe?
Yeah, he's notoriously got a bad attitude.
Okay, yeah, probably prime example then, that kind of thing. But there's someone in the NFL that was bad attitude and
Johnny Manziel.
But his talent was just like
unreal.
And then I think he did win something. I can't remember who it is though.
Yeah, it's. But I feel like Man United, what they do is they paper over the cracks with world class, what they think is world class, or is expensive, so it must be good, that kind of thing. Mm. And I think this summer they've really got to be interesting, because this is the first time that the crowd might accept less.
Yes, yeah. Yes.
You know, because they've never dropped this bad.
Yeah.
So now you're here this low. I think if it is a new manager, then it's a new manager. If it's newer players or younger players that you're willing, they're willing to watch Mainu give it everything and lose.
Yeah.
Then they are to watch Casemiro get drilled past 8 times and dive in.
Yes.
Because guess what? I watched it this week. The reason he dives in is because he doesn't want to run back.
Yeah.
Because he dives in when he knows he can't win the ball.
Yeah.
He just knows he's out of position, realises and goes, if I dive, no one expects me to get back in time. So I'll slowly get up and then jog back as if I'm trying. Because guess what? Been there. Yeah. And it's a cowardly way of playing. And Mainu wouldn't do that. He'd be scratching and clawing. He did against... what happened? Casemiro ran out of centre-back. He jumped at Elise's feet for no apparent reason. And then Mainu had to try and recover and ran with him all the way to the goal. And he just hit it past Little Onana in the goal. Because
there's something
Little Onana might be also not a very good keeper.
I'm still sticking. I need to give him 18 months, but
it's dicey now. The balls are going in the middle of the goal.
It's on.
If you ever bet on 3 saves Onana, you won't get it. Because he'll have 6 shots on goal.
He has had a lot of shots.
He has a lot.
Yeah. Again, that's the other thing. He is a good keeper. He showed it in his previous clubs.
Yes. He was the Champions League finalist.
Yeah, so it's because of the players in front of him, the confidence is low, he's unconfident with who's in front of him.
Yeah.
It's all a mess. That's the reason.
And you've got to remember as well, the centre-backs he's got to play with this year and the defence that he's rolling the ball to are not who you want to roll the ball to in a pressured situation.
It was night and day. When Martinez came back for those couple of games, it was night and day of the relationship between them two. But name another, like Alisson. You put Alisson in goal. How many less does he concede? He will concede less because he is a better keeper. I'm not saying
I'll say this. David De Gea.
Don't get, we did speak about this.
De Gea deserves a statue.
Yes. 100%.
He's the perfect example of if you put any keeper at Man United, he will actually keep out 90% of it. Because he was getting just as many shots and he was saving them.
Those early seasons after Ferguson, I swear to God, he stopped you getting relegated.
Yeah, he did.
Do you know, we Arsenal fans have a certain period of time where nothing good happened. But we have certain players that we always will say they deserve a statue. Santi Cazorla, Cesc Fabregas. There's certain players like that just held us down during a very... Ramsey, Walcott. Bruno Fernandes and David De Gea will forever be the darkest spell of Man United. But if it wasn't for those two, it would be a lot darker.
At least De Gea has some Premiership and a Champions League.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have a Champions League. Who did? No, he doesn't. He went to a Champions League final, but we got destroyed by Barca, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like, they will be forever known as that dark period. But boy, did they try and actually help you. De
Gea, that is one knock that I have wherever it is. I think it was. I don't know. That's also baffling because Madrid went through. Courtois came back from injury and then got injured again.
And they loaned Kepa, and then Kepa was
perfect for Madrid.
Yeah, Kepa's on loan there still.
Yeah, or maybe Madrid do want that playing out from the back keeper. Yeah. Maybe the dying breed of the De Gea keeper is...
He has to go down a bit. So
maybe. It's tough.
You look at Aston Villa, they're playing out from the back with Unai Emery and Martinez, and it's players like that.
Do you know who I actually wanted before Onana came on, for Bruggen from Brighton that went to Brighton?
Yeah, he's now got Jason Steele out of the team, and there's talk of Jason Steele replacing Ramsdale on Arsenal's bench.
Okay.
In the kind of goalkeeper go around that we might see this summer, and the other one involved in that is that Ramsdale to Chelsea is a potential. Doesn't have to move. He will be their first choice, and they're struggling to find the exact perfect situation. The other one I've seen a lot recently is Pickford to Manchester United. Is a massive story, and I swear to God, if you spend this summer chasing Pickford,
no.
When your goalie's sorted, he's not. I don't think he's great.
He's not great.
But that's something you've already dealt with.
Yeah, if you limit the shots, then the less shots he has, the less shots he can let in. If that makes sense. Yeah. But there is something wrong with his fundamentals.
Yeah, he's a good shot stopper.
No, I don't think he is.
He's not.
Well, Pickford.
He's not.
No.
I think Pickford could be a shot stopper.
Yeah, he's a shot stopper,
because of the amount of shots that are
he's
coming
not the player out.
I think Pickford's got a nice mix of. He's not great at playing out, but he can just about do it. But he also goes long. I think Man United need to. That's why I think they might move on from Ten Hag. Is I don't think they're bothered. The way I disagree. That when people say the DNA is only based on what you saw recently. Yeah. Like people go, the DNA of Man United is they win. It's like no, they didn't. Ferguson won.
Yeah.
Before Man United, before Ferguson, they didn't win a lot. Yeah. They did, but in periods. So I don't necessarily always agree with the whole DNA thing, but there is a style that comes with teams. Real Madrid are never going to be a possession team. They're going to be a counter-attack, fast-paced team.
I feel like we're more of a counter-attack type team.
Man City, Arsenal.
I don't want to be a City.
Possession. No, if Arsenal got as boring as City, it'd be hard to watch.
Yeah.
Arsenal or City with emotion.
Yeah.
We fall out of the robot every now and then and get too emotional and do something crazy or do set pieces.
Yeah.
There's a nice bit of nothing like craziness to it. But you don't want to be City. But City, Arsenal, you think of possession. Liverpool, Man United, you think of counter. You think of fast, aggressive, attacking.
That Liverpool annoyingly because we can get into the Klopp argument another day, but that style of football that he did have with Liverpool was so good.
Yeah.
The Jenga press,
the Gengen press.
Yeah.
Heavy metal football.
The Gengen press. Catch 'em all pressing.
Yeah. The Gengen press is honestly massive, and that's what I think Man United need. Is when that crowd at Old Trafford goes up, they want you high up the field.
Yeah.
It's like Anfield. They want you to win it. What they don't want is a basketball game that you're struggling in.
Yeah.
They're trying a bit of that, but I think Ten Hag's plan is kill them with 1,000 passes. When Arteta joined, he said we're going to kill teams with 1,000 passes. And Arsenal fans went, hell yeah. Because that's what Arsenal do. Yeah. Again, I don't like the DNA thing, but there is a certain style.
There is a style of play because Wenger passing was
one touch.
Was beautiful.
Yeah, and that's what got Pep doing what Pep's doing and all these teams. Ferguson didn't play that. No, Ferguson's style was
pressure and kind of ruthless in a way.
Yeah, it was pressure. You could feel it build. Like, you know how people talk about sucking the ball in at Anfield now? Old Trafford used to do it. When it got to 90 minutes, if you were on 0-0 or something, 1-1, all I remember ever seeing is just all of your own team is in the box. All of your team's in the box. And people just crossing it repeatedly.
And Van Nistelrooy is just sliding in last second.
You're just like, oh my God, when will this stop? You want the whistle to go, I don't want to watch it. It was so pressured. And Liverpool feels that way. Like, no matter who you are in the league, if you go to Liverpool, you're going to feel that pressure. And City feel it even when they go there. It's like the ball is being sucked towards their goal, and you're getting deeper and deeper and panicking. And when you watch Liverpool, all they do is press in numbers, and then they cross. All
really good. Yeah.
And it's probability-wise. We cross 50 times, you're going to get on the end of 10 of them. If you get on the end of 10 of them, 5 of them are going to go in. We win 5
And that's the whole thing when we got rid of Ronaldo. We needed to change our style of play to just get balls into the box, get stuff on him. And the same thing with Højlund. Just get balls into it. Give the boy a chance.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that the style in which Ten Hag's trying to build, I don't think will ever get over with that crowd.
Maybe not, no.
Because I think if you keep the ball at Old Trafford... Who was the manager? Was it Van Gaal that used to do it? And you'd have the ball and the crowd would go, attack, attack.
When we had the back five?
Yeah, and the crowd would actively shout,
you'd literally just see the crowd with a wave of hands.
Please go forward. And again, obviously the point of possession football is not to not attack. Yeah. But Arsenal under Unai Emery did that. And we didn't attack. We just had the ball a lot. I mean, it was horrible. It was genuinely, I'd rather us not have the ball.
I don't know, but that Ajax team was...
really good.
Yeah.
But that was a possession team, proper.
I don't mind being possession.
No, but I think Man United fans... I think you might like it, but I think there's something, like I said, I don't agree with the DNA thing, but there is something that I think that core group at the ground will be like, I get it, nice passes, where are the goals?
No, I genuinely, I think we'd be a little bit, because we've had such bad now.
Yeah, if you actually had nice possession.
If we had an identity of football,
that's what
I feel like we actually might get behind it. But I do agree to a point that people that go, the season ticket holder ones, probably just want to see the old school. But is that right? And like, can it be done? And if it can't be done, let's not
muck about anymore.
Identity is crucial. If I'm watching a football team, I even as a neutral fan watching another team, I need to see what I expect from that team.
Yeah.
And Man United has always had an issue with me. Like, I can never see what's happening.
They just win. They win 60% of their games. That's their identity.
I just want to see what the identity of that team is. Like you said about DNA, there is something to that. Like, you need something.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, under Ollie, we had a counter-attack style of football.
Yeah, just sit back and just soak up and go. Yeah. And but that's what I kind of have a disagreement with. Like someone like Ange, is he's not adapting. He's going, no, that's my style, and I'll die on my sword. And I get that. It's nice to hear, but it's like, but that's not what a manager does. A manager adapts and figures it out.
You have to.
Once he has the personnel to do it, you can, like, City, they're not going to adapt because they've built themselves to a point where they don't have to adapt. But no, I'm just interested with the Ten Hag of it all.
Okay, yeah.
Because we've kind of talked about a little bit of the Arsenal rivalry. We talked about the fact that today should be a 5-0 Arsenal drubbing, but it's not because of history, because of all sorts. Panic, pressure, are Arsenal going to fully bottle it at Old Trafford? These types of things. We've mentioned some of the personnel. One of the things that we were talking about at the start of the year was you were Ten Hag in.
Yes.
You said, I want to give him time.
Yes.
And we said, at the end of the year, we'll talk about this and see if you still want to give him time. Where are you at now?
Right now, I am not Ten Hag out.
But you're not Ten Hag.
I'm not Ten Hag in.
You don't know what the problem is.
I would get rid of Ten Hag if the right person came in.
Yeah.
I don't think there is someone out there that could do better than Ten Hag at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely... Like...
Is there a case, though, sometimes there's so much, like, dirt on something that you kind of have to?
Yeah, that's where it came to... I've got a passionate United fan who is now like fully Ten Hag out. I said Ten Hag out, but I said I'm not passionate about it. I'm not getting my pitchforks out. I'm not going to go, he's completely done. I still want to give him time and potentially less injuries and a bit more player rotation, like outs and then ins. But I'm not gonna be sad. I'm not gonna lose any sleep if he gets sacked.
Yeah.
But if we sack him and bring Southgate in, I don't know what I'm going to do. If we sack him, get like Tuchel in, all right, okay. But I still don't... We wasted another 2 years.
Yeah, because you're stopping every building block.
We're no matter what we do...
You start a load of processes and then stop them.
It's going to be... Yeah, we're 2 years in the hole. We're going to have to give Tuchel... Like you said, 5 years. You've got to...
and Tuchel's not the type. I think Ten Hag, if you want to stick 5 years, I think Ten Hag is your guy.
It's just crazy. The main thing is, I want to get off this carousel. And if we had to stick with Ten Hag, I'm okay. Like, as
rather
long
than
as
start all over again.
Because we're the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
When will it stop? You might as well keep with Ten Hag, unless there is like the best manager out there
that you know is going to really sort that group of players out.
Yes.
This goes back to the...
You just kind of think...
The poison chalice.
I just don't know. Like, Tuchel would be nice, but I just don't know if there's anyone there's not a Pep or a Klopp out there. Weirdly, there is a Klopp out there, but he's
not willing. Done with football.
But the thing is, like that.
Is it not just like the only way to find out if someone fits? Like the shoe only fits if you keep trying shoes.
Yeah, maybe.
Because like De Zerbi could be your man, but we don't know what. No, but we don't know. Yeah. Like for example, when Arsenal took Arteta, everyone was like, "Oh, we needed someone like Allegri."
Yeah.
Because we don't need this. We don't need an ex-player that thinks he's a tactician.
Yeah.
But tell everyone that now, and everyone's like, "Oh no, it was the right decision." But everyone was worried. They were like, "He's unproven." But it was the perfect time.
He
learned under a very good manager. But
maybe that's what you kind of need is certain things. But who did Ten Hag land under? I swear Ten Hag landed under someone as well. Or was it that Pep was under Ten Hag at some point?
I can't remember. There is something to that. I know. We should know.
Maybe... so it could be that. I would love a lovely young upcoming manager like an Arteta.
Yeah, someone has... Ten Hag is kind of that because he's not the oldest lad, but
he's not.
I just think sometimes there's just enough mud. Do you know what I think it was? I think the minute he got rid of Ronaldo, it soured people.
Soured me with De Gea as well because he was pivotal in that.
Yeah, and again, what you have to. The thing is, he's done everything kind of right. Is he did all that, then gave you an FA Cup.
But do you know
Carabao Cup.
Do you know where we have lost a lot of respect for Ten Hag? Is
the delusion?
Probably the delusion, but being so tight on other players and then
loose. Easily,
it's so apparent, and if he can't see it, then he is dumb. The Rashford thing, giving 100%, it has to be special treatment because he doesn't deserve to be on that pitch.
No, not the current way. When you see people walking in a press, there's no team in the league other than Man United that would allow that.
So there is a disconnect or a different in treatment between certain players because he went in on Garnacho or something for not pressing and took him off. He's never really done that to Rashford. Yeah. I think he might have done it once or twice, and that's the bit that I don't like and I don't respect him for.
What we talked about before we went on there was the kind of the money, like Mbappe. You bring in a player like that, you can ruin a whole structure because everyone now wants more money.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with that. If everyone is expected to press, but one guy isn't, it can't work like that because now everyone goes, I don't want to press then. Because Rashford isn't.
Yeah.
And it goes through. It's the same as, we were the opposite at one point. Arsenal, no one pressed except Sanchez.
Yeah.
You can't do it as one either. Yeah. You know, it's tough because... Like I said, you don't know who's going to be the perfect fit until you try it. Because again, you could put Klopp in there and you could fail because it's a poison chalice.
Yeah.
But you could also put De Zerbi in there and it's the perfect fit. I think what you need to do is have all your kind of
ducks in a row
first,
and then
it has to trickle down, which is what Neville's was.
I feel like you do need to give Ten Hag a chance.
Yeah.
Outside of this season has been terrible for the sale of the club. In between and it for how long that went on, the injury list that we had this year and at the key positions like the centre back stuff, I feel like he has not draped himself in any glory whatsoever. So that's why I'm kind of weirdly just on the fence. I've said it a lot recently. I'm just numb to Man United right now. I just want this season done so I don't have to worry about it and it can just be gone.
I think that's a nice roundabout of what we were going to talk about earlier with football is he's kind of coming at a very fan-based, I think, Ten Hag, because he's kind of saying, I've got you another final. Like, he's almost using it like he's like, it's like his weapons back at the crowd. He's like, I don't understand what you want. I've given you a final. It's like, week to week, good football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it goes back to what we were saying is, guess what? If Arsenal win the league, I'm going to be happy for... I'll be very happy generally. But I mean, the elation's going to be an hour. And then I'm going to carry on my life. What I want to do is look forward for 7 days, hence why I have a podcast. I like talking about it because I'm excited. I want to be excited about the game, enjoy the game, win or loss, but we tried, we played, there's a style. And you've got to love your club. Like, something that Arteta's done is he's brought the crowd back to the stadium, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's, you know, when you watch the YouTube videos... You know, they do these like kind of ramp up videos for the games where they're in the streets around the Emirates. It's London. They're showing the old boys that are turning up, the old women that are turning up, and people eating chicken outside in the in the little bits. And they're showing all that, and it's like you're proud to be London, you know. Yeah. And it's the same as when you hear North London Forever. It's like that's a North London boy, North London fan. Yeah. His mum is from Birds in the Feather for a show.
I saw that this week.
Real. Yeah. And then, but you feel that London. You know, you go in the old cafe and you talk about the game. I love that. And it makes me proud to support Arsenal. Win or loss, I'm like, but even if we lose, we can argue about it in the cafe, you know, that kind of feel. You got to bring that because it papers over a lot more cracks than a £100 million player does. And it goes with the same with the kit launches, and it's like the Luminous kit this year, everyone hated. It's become an iconic shirt because of the good
shit. I enjoyed that one from
but the shapes on it are the shape of Islington.
Yeah.
And it's like they were showing back their roots. And it's like people wouldn't have known that, but it's like, but the way they show it on their YouTube channel and the way they bring you in, obviously it helps when you're winning. It has to be a collective, like you said. Everything has to come together at the right time, like a pyramid, and then you peak with a Champions League or a Premier League. Yeah. Whether Arsenal get that or not, I don't mind because it's made me so happy to watch them. So
as an outsider and someone that hasn't got any skin in the game this year, we want Arsenal to win. I know that you've seen a lot of other things where Man United fans don't want it, but I feel like the majority of fans that I've spoken to or whatever, we don't want City winning 4 in a row.
It's like a mixed thing, isn't it? It's like City are rivals, like geographically. We're your rivals of past years. But I think a lot of outsiders will look at, not even being biased as an Arsenal fan, but what Arsenal have done is
it's nice.
Above what City
nice
has
to
done.
see.
It's the only thing close to it is what Klopp did at Liverpool.
Yeah.
He brought everyone in. And it started on that day one. He drew a game and he made everyone go to the Klopp and talk to them. You see it around Europe. You know, when players go in... my wife watched a game this week, Champions League. Someone went out, I think it was PSG, and they went and stood at the home end and just stared for genuinely about 20 minutes. And she was like, what are you doing? I said, they have to. Because the point is, they got to go kind of accept the fact that these people paid all this money.
Yeah.
And we've lost, we apologise. And they'll listen to what they have to chant, what they have to say. Some German clubs will have a microphone, one guy, and he'll tell them what they thought.
Yeah.
And they have to listen to it.
And it shows you're all in it together.
Yeah,
the fans and the players are all in that game together.
That's the humility that you need in a club that Man United just don't have at the minute. Like I said, we can't imagine someone shouting at Rashford to press without him doing a PR thing.
This whole season has been leaks. It's been like not just
Who is it? Mason Mount, isn't it?
I don't know. I heard that. I don't know.
I heard that as well.
But no, not just the leaks in the Old Trafford roof. It's the leaks in the dressing room, and it's so player heavy orientated of catty court. Like
the benefit of this is this happens every club, because when Arteta came in, he talked about the mole. There's a mole. Yeah. There's a mole that we need to get rid of. Otherwise, this club won't push forward.
I feel like you got rid of the physio, and that's
that was the latest part of the puzzle. That was the last thing.
Maybe he's the mole.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? He talked about it early on, and then no leaks happened after about a year, and we were like, I wonder who it was, because he found out who it was and got rid of him. He actively told people, I've got rid of the mole, and that is something that happens seems to be in every club, which is a nice thing for a United fan, because you can see these poison chalices like Klopp taking over Liverpool, Arteta over Arsenal, other clubs in other countries. It's doable. Every club, it's doable. The only downside is no one's really done it in the modern world with social media and stuff to the biggest club in the world, which is Man United. Because guess what? Real Madrid, Ancelotti don't do anything. He just stares there and puts his eyebrow up and he starts scoring.
He likes a cigar and they get a goal.
You can't do that in the Premier League. He did it at Everton. He was an Everton manager a few years ago.
It's mental, isn't it?
He had James Rodriguez. It's so weird.
His eyebrow meme is so good.
But do you know what I mean? Like, we've not seen it done there.
No.
And that's the last question I'll leave that with is it possible? We don't know.
No, we don't.
And time will tell. But
time will tell. I feel like we need just positive steps forward, because we need to know what's happening with Old Trafford, because that does need to get resolved. What's happening with the team, and then what's happening with the manager. That's the three pivotal parts in Manchester United right now, I believe.
It's a very important summer, and ironically there's a Euro, so it's going to make life harder.
It's Thankfully it's in Germany, so maybe I don't know.
Closer, maybe you know, someone's going to have a really good year
for
Denmark if they're in it, and you're going to spend 200 million on that guy who's going to be awful.
Weird thing is, we already know a few people that are already out of contract this year, so I think Varane's leaving anyway, which is annoying, because I think we could have sold him to Saudi club for some money if we actually did some good
he didn't play this year,
dealing.
There's a lot to be learned over the summer. It's going to be very interesting. The question is, the whole season is now the FA Cup, isn't it?
Yes.
So
that's where,
if you lose 5-0 today to Arsenal, is that whatever he does next, he's gone?
No,
he's not going before the FA Cup. I'm not saying that. But does he get smashed today? Win or loss of the FA Cup, is he gone because of these end results? Because to lose 4-0 to Palace and then let's say 4-0 to Arsenal, that's hard to come back to even with an FA Cup in your arms, because I mean he won a Carabao last year.
Well, we got rid of Van Gaal after we won the FA Cup.
That's what I mean.
I don't know actually. It's quite a good question,
because I think it's.
I feel like the weird thing is it should be, because in the past it's like we said, when it's not mathematically possible for us to qualify for Champions League,
they go,
or even any Europe like this, we might not even qualify for conference.
Yeah.
It's normally bye-bye, FA Cup or not. But I have a feeling that Sir Jim just kind of wants, let's stop this whole thing from happening. I have a feeling he might get one more season. So I don't think he's going to leave, regardless of how it is.
If he wins the 3 games this week and then wins the FA Cup, I would fully be like, do you know, he gave it an honest try at the end. He got some of his players back and they got results. Maybe it is a player thing.
Yeah.
He didn't have his players available. But I do think...
It's the way that... If we get beat today...
Your best chance to win the FA Cup if you lose today, I think, is to sack him and put someone like Rooney in charge for 1 game.
But if we get... if we lose today, I'm okay with it. It depends how it does. It generally... Because, what is it? Arsenal, Newcastle, and then I keep forgetting who we have. Brighton potentially on the last day.
Maybe, I
don't know. Something like that. They're hard games. They're not easy games to win. The Palace one was terrible. Like, I would have sacked him anyway. After that, but I'm not expecting to win those games. So can I be angry if we do lose those games out? And if he's just prepping for that FA Cup, as long as the FA Cup he's put in 100%, he's got the players, and then they put in 100%. And if we get a result, great. If we don't, okay. Yeah. It's how it goes down, which is the more pivotal thing, rather than the actual result. If that makes sense. The
last thing I want to do before we leave this, because the dog is about to start barking, is a round robin quick fire.
Yeah.
The score today, Bruno.
3-1 Arsenal.
Joe.
We're going with heart or head.
Just whatever you want.
2-1 Arsenal.
I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal.
Wow, that's a cagey game.
3-1, 2-1, 1-0. It got lower and lower and lower.
Well, if I was going with my head, I think it's going to be a draw.
Yeah, that's what my head said.
I have a feeling it could be if it starts off cagey, it's definitely a draw.
Yeah.
I hope there's just something which I just want to see some good football.
Yeah.
And I feel like I either want United to just pull off something miraculous and it's like a 3-1 or 3-2 United, like crazy game. Or I kind of want to like
a drubbing and be like, let's see the chaos.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, 6-0. Let's put the cat amongst the pigeons. Well, we're going to find out. I'm going to get this podcast out now, so you've got probably about an hour and a half to watch it, listen to an hour and a half. But I mean, it's always here because it's a little bit of insight into what is wrong with Man United, and truly, no one knows.
No one knows.
But really we're trying to get to the bottom of it. Again, Bruno will be on it more anyway. I think young Elton Prince from the WWE will be on it a lot more going forward. But we're soon to be positively England in the summer.
Yeah, I'll be in for the summer.
Hell yeah.
You'll be here for the summer.
This is a summer retreat. But thank you for joining me. This has been a Gunners Russ. You can follow us at Gunners Podcast on TikTok, and you can follow us on iTunes and Spotify, depending how you listen to it. Give us a 5-star review. Let your friends know about it. This has been an extra, so we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll be also live on TikTok at 10 a.m. GMT. The dog's about to go. Any last words? You don't have to do an outro.
I've already done one. I would have put Bruno on the spot and be like, doing Man United one, but...
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you,
Bruno. Hey.
Good game.
Yeah. I'll see you Wednesday when the league will be over. No, I'm only kidding. We'll see. Goodbye.